Thank you, Ellen. Nicole, thank you as well. And I will also share in my thanks to Armstrong for this great venue. It's a terrific place to have this event. And while I'm at it, talking about thank yous, the people that put this on is the Chamber of Commerce. And they do a terrific job. You know that they have 50 events a year. They had 50 events last year, all done by 3 people, and I'd like you to just stand up. You met Ellen Gale, Mary Ellen Tobin, and Mary Rosser. Are they in here? They're probably out working. Well, also like to recognize, while they have time to stay here, from St. Louis County, our County Executive Steve Stanger, and the County Representative for Clayton, Pat Dolan, is here as well. I don't see Peter. Did Peter get here?
He's on the way.
He's on the way. Peter Crane was the municipal judge for Clayton. He is now the county counselor for St. Louis County, also a resident of Clayton, as Steve is as well. So we appreciate you being here. Now, I typically start off with a little joke or a little something, and I didn't think about it, but I assigned that duty to my good friend Pat Crane over at Pulaski, or at Busey Bank, and he totally disappointed me. Because, where are you, Pat? He's right there. He gave me a joke that I wouldn't tell to a 5-year-old. So we're gonna just move on and forget about that. All right. Pat, you got a whole year, so we'll come up with another one. All right, let's get started. Now up on the screen here are the 6 aldermen that represent the 3 wards in Clayton. And I just want to tell you, and don't tell them because they'll just get a fat head about it. This is the best group of people I have ever worked with on a board, a commission. Anybody would be very happy to work with these folks. They come to work prepared. They have no individual agendas. The only agenda is to do what's right for the city of Clayton. And I just want to introduce them one at a time. I think everybody except one is here. From the 1st Ward, Joanne Bolton and Richard Lins, stand up. All right, there's Richard. We have to keep them separated. From the 2nd Ward, Cynthia is not here, I don't think, but Ira Berkowitz is here. And from the 3rd Ward, Mark Winings and Alex Berger. This is a terrific board. Now, I got to tell you, we agree on a lot of stuff. Sometimes we disagree, and that's perfectly fine, but we do it respectfully. We listen, we take people's opinions, we get a lot of information before we make decisions. So there's a couple of things that I think they will agree that we agree upon, although they probably will argue with me about it later. But I'm going to bring a couple things up that I think we agree upon. And just to warn you, my way of doing business is I use a lot of quotes from dead people. First of all, they can't deny that they said it. And secondly, they're a lot smarter people than I will ever be, so I use their quotes when it's appropriate. So the first one says, I cannot give you a surefire formula for success, but I can give you the formula for failure, which is try to please everybody. I think everybody in this audience can appreciate that. If you're in business, if you deal with the public, if you deal with anybody, there is no way in the world that you will ever please everybody. So I think that we all agree to that. And the former president of Notre Dame said, don't make decisions because they are the easiest, the cheapest, or the most popular. Make your decisions because it is right. Now, obviously, the operative word there is right. What is right? And I can tell you that the 6 folks in that picture and myself spend an inordinate amount of time researching, reading, talking, getting input from stakeholders and the citizens and the businesses in this community before we make a decision. Now, no, not every time do we make the right decision, but I can tell you that we put a lot of effort into getting it done, and I'm so fortunate to have the 6 folks that were up on that wall that helped make those decisions. In addition to those 6, I am very fortunate to work with another group called the Mayor's Youth Advisory Council. This council was established by former Mayor Linda Goldstein several years ago, and I continued it when I became the mayor. It is a group of juniors and seniors from Clayton High School who are interested in what goes on in city government, and we take them through the paces. Last night they got a tour of the police department, the police station. We take them through the fire department, the public works department, the parks, the courts, everything that we have available as in terms of running the city. These kids get to see, and I will tell you, they are sharp, and they are the future of our community and of our country. So I enjoy that. The sponsor of that is Cheryl Riedel. Please, Cheryl, stand up. And there's a few of the IRAP people here. Just stand up and take a bow. This is a sharp group of kids. Now, another group of youngsters that I had the pleasure of working with as well over the summer, although just a little bit, is called the Clayton Summer Associates. Clayton Summer Associates is a group of interns that worked in Clayton over the summer. And we got them all together to network together. We took them to places in Clayton and around the region to make sure they got to know the region well. Some of them lived here, some of them did not, but we had a very ulterior motive. And the motive was to get them to love where they were, and when they graduate college, to want to stay in our city. And that's the goal that we have. And that program is run very wonderfully by Michelle Harris. Michelle, stand up and take a bow. And Ellen, okay, and many sponsors that do a great job. All right, so let's talk about what happened in 2016. What a year. You know, I can't believe I'm standing here. It feels like it was like a month ago, but the year has gone by in a blaze and so much has happened. So let's talk about it. First of all, there were 39 events in Clayton that were sponsored by Clayton. Another 50 events that were sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce. In 2015, and I haven't seen the figures for 16 yet, in 2015, Clayton was named as the #1 city for things to do in the entire state of Missouri. And our charge to the staff is, not only are we going to get business done, but we want to have fun along the way. And the staff is so responsive, and the city manager, who does a great job in terms of directing all this, because we are a policy-making board. The work, the real work, gets done at the executive level in the city, and that is Craig Owens. Craig, just stand up and say hi to everybody. He and his staff do an amazing job. So here are the 39 events that we did in 2016. I'll go through them very quickly. Clayton Restaurant Week, Winter Edition, Cupid's Ball, Movie Night, Electronic Recycling, Women's Business Leader Event, Cardinal Home Opener, and there's your mayor and your board of aldermen working very hard. And you will note one person's different. Mark was playing Where's Waldo. Clayton Crawl for Applause, that was a good event for a charity. May Musical Mondays, Parties in the Park, which is a chamber event, Picnic in the Park, Clayton Music and Wine Festival. Oh yes, everybody enjoyed that. That was a terrific night. Whiskey tasting at the Hamley House. Now I asked for a picture of that event, and the inference was that nobody was in any condition to take a picture, or nobody would want to see what the pictures looked like, so we just had to pass on that. Musical nights at Oaknall, Clayton Restaurant Week during the summer, Kids Triathlon, Craft on Tap, oh, the beer festival. I think we got a theme going here. We got everybody covered. You like wine, we got it. You like beer, you like whiskey, you find it in Clayton, we got it covered. Harvest Moon Festival, Party in the Patch, Haunted High Tea, Halloween, and there's, yes, they made me do it, the mayor and a couple of aldermen with city staff. We're not going to keep that one up long. Special Olympics Marathon, Shop Clayton, Snowman Skate, Crawl for a Cause, a winter edition, and there is plenty more, which we will talk about as well. Now also in 2016, we continued our investment in our infrastructure by repaving neighborhood streets. In 2016, we repaved 17.5 lane miles. We will be paving 15.6 lane miles in 2017. We paved some in 2015. The total neighborhood streets that will be paved is about 50 lane miles. Not bad for a city that's 2.5 square miles. And of course, in 2016 was the 22nd edition of the St. Louis Art Fair in downtown Clayton. This is a world-renowned, internationally known art fair. Let's talk about some of the things that happened. Some fun facts. There were 1,176 artists that applied for 181 spots. There were 18,000 pieces of art in 12 media, artists from 33 states and 3 countries. There was an average sale of $13,900 per artist, 130,000 attendees over the weekend, 1,000 volunteers helped to make it go. Who counted this? I have no idea. Over 60,000 servings of food, and most importantly, there were 300 pounds of noodles sold. It doesn't say 300 pounds consumed, just sold. What happened there, I don't know. But anyway, it was all accomplished by 2 staff members. They happen to be here tonight. Cindy Lyric and Laura Miller, are you in here? I know you are. Stand up. These two produce a show that is respected literally internationally, and they do a fantastic job. We look forward to the one coming up this year. So there were improvements to our park system in 2016 as well. The major one was to Taylor Park. If you have not been there, it is a fantastic park. It was funded by St. Louis County Municipal Grant, City of Clayton, and the Clayton Century Foundation, and it turned a normal neighborhood park into something absolutely spectacular. If you have kids, grandkids, or you just want to act like a kid, you can go over there. It is a terrific park, lots of fun, lots of good things to do. Now, talking about the Clayton Century Foundation, in this fall, we dug the dirt to begin a fantastic project at the corner of Brentwood and Forsyth. Anybody who drives past there knows that it's under construction right now. This is called Chapman Plaza. And beside the fact that we were digging and probably put them behind on their schedule, they let us do it anyway. But you will notice here that, oh my goodness, I absolutely pushed the wrong one. The guy, there we go. The guy with the fancy tie and even the fancier haircut, that is J.J. Flotkin, the president of the Clayton Century Foundation. I know you're here, J.J. Stand up. Where are you? With J.J. and in the picture, the first person right here is Gary Fader. And Gary is a charter member of CCF, and literally the only person in Clayton that goes to more meetings than I do. Gary, where are you, Gary? Gary, stand up. Not in the picture, but a founder and charter member is Judy Goodman, and I see you standing. Stand up, Judy, and tell everybody to say hi. CCF, if you're not aware, was founded to celebrate our 100th anniversary as a city. And it was so successful and so well received that they continued their tasks and their mission to help the city of Clayton in things that the city couldn't financially do themselves. So they are a fundraising unit that really does things to help increase the view and the things that happen, products, things that go on in Clayton. They are something that is unique, literally, in our community. When I tell other mayors about CCF, they just don't really understand how that works. But I'll tell you, it works fantastic. So CCF was responsible for Chapman Plaza creation, funded very generously by Bob Chapman, the CEO of Barry Waymuller and his family and the Barry Waymuller Company. And this digging of this corner that has been this way for umpteen years is going to turn into this by the time we have Art Fair in September. This look from the corner and this look down the hill and this look up the hill, all made possible by CCF and the Barry Waymuller Company. It is a huge new asset for our community. So thank you to CCF. Thank you for donating as well. So talking about assets to the community, of course, is our school district. And as you all know, many people moved to Clayton. We did, for the school district many years ago. And they are used to being highly rated. This past year was not an exception. Very recently, a company by Niche, who we use to understand how things are ranked and rated, recently rated Clayton School District as #1 in the state of Missouri. That's not bad. We're kind of used to that, actually. But for the first time, they are rated #4 in the entire country. Here tonight is the superintendent of schools, Sean Doherty. Where are you, Sean? Stand up. The president of the school board. Yes, Kristen, you have to stand. And Joe Miller and Gary Pearson are here. They're on the board, the Board of Education. Where are you guys? Come on, stand up there. Thank you for educating our kids and doing the great job that the school district does. And I will tell you my pride in being able to work with you guys and the relationship that we have, that we all have the same goals for our community, and you guys do an awesome job. I'm privileged to work with you on that. So let's see what else is going on. New businesses that came to Clayton in 2016. Mayana, which is part of the Hacienda family on Forsyth. Alex, is Alex here? Alex, stand up. All right, thank you. Alex Rodriguez, part of the Hacienda family, and they make a mean burrito. I am not kidding. Thank you for opening up in Clayton. We appreciate it. There are several other restaurants that opened up. Cadoba on Clayton Road, iBar in Carondelet Plaza, Herbie's at Maryland and Brentwood, Hot Box Cookies on Central, Wicked Greens on Central, Louis Wine Dive on Demaston, which is already expanding, and Parigi in the Clayton on the Park building. Thank you to all of you for investing in our community. So what else is happening? In 2017, we are going to have a lot of events again. It's in the fun mode. So let's talk about what you might see. Some of the things. Clayton Restaurant Week, which is just 2 weeks from now. If you haven't made a reservation, you better get it because they're filling up. Cupid's Ball in February, movie night at the Firehouse, Cardinal Home Opener Lunch will be again, Bunny Hop in April, herb sale at Hamley House, music in the city, parties in the park. Is Nicole Hinkle here? No. All right, right, so in the theme of, okay, yes, we want to have fun, we have an events specialist. Nicole Hinkle joined us this year, and her job solely is to run events for the city of Clayton. So on her, I think, third day here, I busted into her office, and I basically got down on my knees and I said, Nicole, I'm just the mayor, which doesn't mean anything, but I just have one wish, just one. Could you please do a barbecue festival? I'm wanting to do a barbecue festival in Clayton since I came in, and nobody will pay attention to me, please. And sure enough, Nicole has come through, and on May the 13th will be the first annual barbecue festival in downtown Clayton. We will have Picnic in the Park, Music and Wine Festival, musical nights in Oak Knoll, Clayton Restaurant Week in the summer, Craft on Tap. The art fair will be back September 8 to 10, Dinner Under the Stars, Harvest Moon Celebration, Shop Clayton, and all of these, as well as many, many more, can be found on our website, claytonmo.gov/calendar. All right, so what's coming? That's 2016. Let's talk about 2017. Right across the street, Capitol Grill will be open sometime in the summer or fall. That is where Jay Butts was. The exercise coach will be in the new Vanguard Clayton building. Billy Jean's, that's another Zoe Robinson restaurant, will be opening on Wydown. Louis, not to be confused with Louis Wine Dive, will be opening in Damon. New Day Gluten Free on Clayton Road, and Sardella, which I believe is already open on Forsyth. This is really exciting. If anybody has been to a city where you could take care of your parking on your smartphone, you know what I'm talking about. No more carrying quarters around in your car. No more going to the kiosk, get a ticket, come back to your car, go back to where you're going. You can literally pay for parking while you're sitting in your car. You can remotely check the time left on your meter, or the time that you have left. You'll get a notice within 10 minutes before your time expires. You can extend your parking on your phone, and all you have to do is download the Passport Parking Mobile Pay app, and it is available on Apple and Google Play. It is slick. You will love it. And that is actually active right now. So anytime you want to download it, we look forward to you doing that. Also in the spring, you will see new wayfinding signs. And by June, you will see new kiosks coming up. Now, what do I mean by that? This is the theme of the new wayfinding signs in Clayton. It will tell you if you're in an automobile. I keep hitting the wrong button. Oh, okay. It will continue to tell you, there you go, if you are an automobile, the direction of things, how to get there. If you're a pedestrian, it will tell you how long it will take you to walk from where you are to your destination. There will be signs showing where specific places are. And then in June, kiosks will be strategically placed throughout downtown Clayton that will have maps, more information about Clayton, and also to help you get around in our downtown area. It's often mentioned to me, what is with all the empty spaces that we have around downtown? Well, the truth of the matter is that we don't have very much at all. A lot of the space that looks like it's empty is really destined for development. So I thought I'd just run through with you the space that is available. 25 North Central, which happens to be a brand new construction, will have 13,000 feet of retail in it. Carondelet Plaza has one open retail bay. 15 North Central, which was Wheelhouse, is available. 212 South Merrimack, again, a brand new construction, will have 8,800 feet of retail available. And 8 North Merrimack, which I believe was Tribeca, that's available. And then 8101 Clayton, which is next door to, in the same building as CVS Pharmacy, that is available. And that's it. Everything else that you see is either under construction or is destined for construction of some kind. On the office vacancy side, I have people say to me, we got so many buildings, we have so many offices, why would we possibly want more office buildings? Well, as it turns out, in relation to others in our community, Brentwood has 8.2% vacancy, Chesterfield 7.3, Creve Coeur 9.4, Richmond Heights 15.7, and the city of St. Louis 8.5, and Clayton 4.7% vacancy. If you talk to a realtor, they will tell you we're full. If you want to find a place, it better be a small place, because there are scattered vacancies throughout the city in buildings. If a company comes and they've had to be turned away because we don't have a plate, we don't have a floor, a 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 square foot floor for them to bring their businesses. So we look forward to some of these developments that are coming that will help to bring more businesses into Clayton. Here's a couple of other quotes for you, especially when we're talking about development. From Marie Curie, I was taught that the way of progress was neither swift nor easy. Oh, is that one right? And also, you probably have all said this sometime in your life. You've said, make hay while the sun shines. Well, it's actually from John Kirk in 1639, who said, make hay while the sun shineth. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is this. The building that we're in right now was completed in 2010. It is the very last commercial building built in the city of Clayton until now. We have 3 buildings, residential buildings, under construction. What happened between 2010 and 2017? Nothing. There was no money from the banks. The economy was not good for development. There was nobody willing to put their money out. So when people say you got so much going on at one time, I say kind of spread it out over the past 7 years. It's not really that much. It's a continuation of the growth of our community. And when we say make hay while the sun shines, I'm telling you folks, as I'm sitting here, and we have bankers and we have real estate people here, the window of opportunity to do development is only open for a certain period of time. Now, that doesn't mean that we take every development that comes by. I can tell you for sure we send more away than we take in and consider. So while there is the opportunity for development, we will look very, very carefully and move forward the ones that are meaningful for our community. So this year last year was the beginning of what I call the construction season. And what we ended up in 2016 was 600 apartments under construction for 27,500 square feet of new retail. And it all began a year ago, and you'll probably, if you were here last year, you'll remember this. It all began last year at this time in what I consider to be the opening of construction season in Clayton. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Thanks, Alex. So that was in January. That was the beginning. And what has happened on that property, which is at the corner of Maryland and Central, what's happened since then is this. Don't anybody tell me American workers don't work fast. This is just a couple of weeks worth of work right here. This is the, as I said, the corner of Maryland and Central. It's by Opus Development. was just a couple weeks worth of work. And that's what it looks like today, and this is what it will look like when it's complete. 121 residential units. 13,000 square feet of retail, and we are very fortunate to have the developer with us tonight, Joe Downs. Stand up, Joe. Joe is a resident of Clayton, and we are very, very happy to have them developing in our community. They are also a very generous company, having contributed to several Clayton causes, so we appreciate that. That's one project that is underway. And if you thought that one went up fast, check this out. This is the corner of Gay and Maryland Avenue. And those guys will show up any Chinese construction company anywhere. That just took, I don't know, 10 days, something like that. That is on the location of the former westernmost building of the former Brown Shoe Company. And that's what it looks like today, and that's what it will look like when complete. 229 apartments, 4,500 square feet of retail, and I'm very happy to tell you that here tonight, the 1999 graduate of Clayton High School, Brian Kennedy. Where are you, Brian? There he is, Brian Kennedy. Thank you for sticking around Clayton after you graduated, and thank you for you and the development team for putting this terrific project up. It's going to be terrific. And if you thought that was fancy, here's the other project that's going up. This is formerly known as The Crossing, now known as 212 South Merrimack. And these ladies and gentlemen know how to build something, putting that Clayton crane in the sky, and up it goes. And up it goes. And that is what it looks like today. And this is what it will look like when complete. 26 floors, 250 apartments, 9,700 square feet of retail. Mark Carley, I saw you walk in. Where are you? Where are you, Mark? Come on, Mark. I thought I saw Mark Carley come in. Anyway, that is a fantastic addition to the landscape of our community, and all three projects will be complete next summer or fall. So let's talk about what's in the hopper. What things that we are considering, that we are looking at officially. If anybody is breathing in this room, you've been by the corner of Hanley and Clayton Road. It's looked like this for the past 15 years. And we have a proposal in the House, and it looks like this. It's a joint development between a developer out of Nashville and out of Orlando, Florida. It is proposed to be 30,000 square feet of a grocery store, 10,000 feet of retail and a restaurant, and 298 apartments. It is working its way through the system. I am not by any means standing here saying this is what it will be when it's done, but it is scheduled to be before Planning, Zoning, and the Architectural Review Board very soon. So that's one item that's in the hopper. Secondly, is the Apogee Office Tower. This is an Apex project, what we call the inside of the Forsyth Curve. That's what it looks like today, and yes, you'll notice that the stores underneath are boarded up. This is what it is projected to look like when complete, and again, it is in the process, the approval process. And it will be 233,000 square feet of office space and retail. And we look forward to that project coming through the system. On the empty lot between Crandon and Topton, across the street from Northwest Coffee, is a piece of property that has been vacant since Ralph Clayton came to town. this is what is proposed: a Regions Bank branch, a 5,700 square feet, a plaza area, and another small building for retail. That is what is planned and will be going through the approval process. Also in the hopper is a project called Solaire. It replaces the Lee Avenue apartments that were torn down about 2 years ago. It is proposed at 72 units, and Bob Sauer is here tonight. I see you, Bob. Stand up. Bob is a well-known builder in not only Clayton, but in the region. He's built some beautiful things, including Clayton on the Park. Bob, thanks for your submittal of this project. And then there's this little bitty thing that's right outside that window, right there. The Centene Development is working its way through the system. There have been some approvals made. Some things are still in the hopper that we're still considering. But as developed, as proposed, it would have 1,004,000 square feet of office space, 218,000 square feet of residential, 190,000 square foot hotel, 85,000 square foot auditorium, civic center, performing arts center, however you would like to describe it, and 130,000 square feet of retail. That project will certainly change the face of the entrance to Clayton from the east. It will bring a couple thousand more people to work that will have lunch and dinner and shop in our community. And it is, as proposed, some kind of a terrific project. Some details are still being worked out. Well, I have to tell you, this is one of my favorite slides. You remember back at the very beginning, I said, you can't please everybody every time. Well, not everybody has the same vision, that's for sure. This is a picture outside of Clayton Gardens. The fine residents of Clayton Gardens came out to picket. This picture was taken in the late 50s or 1960 to protest a building that was being built on Maryland Avenue. Now at the same time, right in the early 60s, the mayor and the Board of Aldermen removed all height restrictions on buildings in downtown Clayton. It was a time when other communities were putting height restrictions in their communities. But the mayor and the Board of Aldermen at that time had the vision of Clayton being a center of commerce, a business center. And that's what we have today. Were it not for that mayor and Board of Aldermen, we would not have had the Pierre Laclede buildings across the street built in the early 1960s. We certainly wouldn't have this building, PNC Center, Chromalloy building, Commerce Bank building, 20 or so business buildings that we have in Clayton that make us the center of commerce and business in the entire St. Louis region. So going back to that slide, it's difficult to make the right decision, but the decisions that we and the board make are based on the seeds that were planted by those who sat in the very same seats before us. And our job is to not only sow those seeds, but we are to plant seeds for the next board and the next people that come into our community. So it's a daunting task. It takes a lot, and not everybody is always going to agree, but we always disagree respectfully. I'm very happy to show you this slide. We have, for the 4th year in a row, a balanced budget. You may recall last year that our estimated surplus was $9,000. This year we have an estimated surplus of $285,000. This board is committed and dedicated to fiscal responsibility, and we will do everything we can and continue to have a good, solid, balanced budget and a good, fiscally sound community. So I have made a lot of quotes here, And our good President Lincoln said, the trouble with quotes on the internet is you never know if they're genuine. So you have to take it with a grain of salt, but that is one of my favorite ones. And the last slide, applause? No. The last slide is also one of my favorite quotes from our good friend, Charlie Brown. Isn't it remarkable how things turned out so well? Thank you, Charlie Brown. Thank you to all of you for your patience.